Hi, I'm Stu, and welcome back to another LumaFusion video tutorial. Today, I'm going to show you how to do a Chromakey transition. And the cool thing about this is it doesn't matter what shape you're using, it works with anything at all. So let's get started. One of the little apps that I use to help create motion graphics and things like that is the Spark Post app made by Adobe. Now, if you've never used Spark Post before, it's hard to describe what it is because it's a lot of things to a lot of people. For example, here are all the different kind of templates you can get, and you can do all sorts of different animations, collages, seasonal things for business, posters, just a whole heap of different social media looks. What I use it for though is creating my thumbnails, as you can see here, and also pulling out graphics as and when I need them. Now, Adobe Spark Post is pretty much a free app to download, but there are, of course, premium features like any other app these days, which you can subscribe to. I don't know how much it is. I think it's between £8 and £10, which is about $12–15, something like that. But if you have a subscription to Adobe for either any of the video apps or the photography apps, Lightroom, Photoshop, you get the premium Spark Post as part of those packages. So you might actually be paying for this and you've never ever used it. So to get started, I'm going to tap the plus. I'm then just going to set the background to solid color. We'll just pick white just now, tap next, and then I'm just going to scroll along until I find 16:9 ratio. Tap done. It automatically gives you some text in the middle. I'm just tapping and highlighting it, and then I'm just going to pretty much tap and delete. We then go down to add. You'll see some options here. You can add in text, design assets, your own images, icons, which we'll come back to in a second, stickers, different backgrounds, and even video clips and logos. And as you can see, that little option there is a premium option. But even if you aren't paying for the premium option, you can go in and download different icons. Now, I've already been searching for arrow, but you can literally type in anything you want and it'll come up with different graphics that you can effectively use copyright free. So you just got to think of what you want to use. For example, I could do cross. Got all sorts of different types of crosses. Today, we're going to do an arrow. So what I want to look for is a series of arrows that, I might even just type in arrows plural. Yeah, that's better. I want to look for 2 or 3 arrows grouped together. Now we could go for maybe this one, or I quite like this one here. I think we'll go with the one with the 3 on it. So we'll untick that one, and then up in the top corner, we'll tap add one. Once we've done that, we want to expand this out until it covers the whole canvas. So let's go into adjust, scale, and just scale things up until you get it going from edge to edge, and then just tap done in the corner. Go back to edit. In fact, we'll go to color, and then we'll just work our way along the colors until we get as close to a chroma key green as we can. Tap on it again, and we can just refine that a little bit further, move things along a bit. That's more of a chroma key green, certainly bright enough green. Tap done. Now what I want to do at this point is I need a solid piece of arrow at the back. So the easiest way of doing that is highlighting the arrow itself and then tapping duplicate and then just moving everything back a bit. So we'll just reposition this until it goes all the way back to here, about there. And you'll see you get automatic guides. And then I'm just going to duplicate once again and slide this back to here. And there's our solid back of the arrow. Tap done. And then if we go up to the share option, we want to choose transparent. That way you get the green chroma key without the white. Tap save, and that saves it into your photos. And then we can just navigate back to LumaFusion, go into our photos and all photos, and there's our arrow ready to go. So at this point, I'm just going to go in and just give it a better name, and we'll just call that arrow graphic. Tap 0 on the keyboard, and then we'll just grab it and drag and drop it. You can now see the correct position that it's in. So we'll just stretch it out for the whole 8 seconds of the clip, which I haven't even showed you below. It's just a time lapse. Pretty cool. Switch our arrow back on, and next we're going to animate it using keyframes. So what we want to do now is we want to come along the timeline to around about 3 seconds in, or basically as far along as you want to show the video clip underneath, and then we're going to animate the arrow appearing. We're going to double tap on the graphic. That takes us into frame and fit, and then we're just going to move position X all the way over to the left hand side until the green chroma key arrow is off screen, and then we're going to tap our first keyframe. From there, we're going to navigate along probably 1 second, but it's up to you how slow or fast you make it. I usually do these kind of transitions between half a second and a second. I'm just going to make it a little bit slower and stick to the second today, just so you can see what's going on a little bit better. But the faster paced transitions I think look better. It's up to you. Once we've done that, we then move the position X all the way over to the other side until it completely disappears. That automatically drops a keyframe for you. And then if we just move the timeline back a bit and play it through, there's the keyframe chroma key zooming through from left to right. Check it again, 3 seconds play, and then you get the transition. So what you're going to do now is you're going to save this out, and we're going to bring it into a different project, and we're going to overlay this with another piece of video footage. We'll be down to share and export, tap on movie, tap photos, 4K video, 24 frames a second. I'm going to raise the quality up to 50 megabits per second, but obviously depending on what you're working on, you might even want to go as high as 150 megabits per second. That of course is absolutely fine, but for demo purposes, this video itself is less than 50 megabits per second, so I'm actually overdoing it as it is. Then go up to the top corner and share that, and that will then write the movie, which is ultra fast with the new M1 chip. And then what we can do now is go to another project and look at a different piece of video footage that we can bring the clip in and blend it in with. Okay, so we're now in another project. I'm going to take the clip that I just rendered to the Photos app, and we're just going to move it along until you start to see the chroma key. From there, we're going to press 1 on the keyboard if you're using a keyboard. That takes you into frame and fit, and you're then going to jump to cropping. Now what we want to do is we want to just position things so that, let's check everything's working through, probably start around about, let's see, 3 seconds and 10 frames in, and I'm going to drop my first keyframe, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then what I'm going to do now is take the left cropping slider and just crop it behind the green, and then go 1, 2, 3, and then crop it behind the green again, and go 1, 2, 3, again just line it up with the green, 1, 2, 3, line it up with the green again. This time I'm just going to do 2, 1, 2, because it's almost disappeared anyway, and just make sure that's completed. Now we're just going to go through and play that back. That looks pretty good, but what we need to do now is we need to obviously key out the green itself. So we tap on our color presets, tap on our green screen, and then tap on green screen key. Boom, that's it keyed out. You can play a little with the edge blur radius if you wish, and the spill suppression. I tend to sort of lower it a little bit just to keep it a little bit crisper, and then just trim off the edge blur radius a little bit, and then we can go back to frame and fit, and once again just check that it's working, and that's looking pretty good. I'm just see there's a tiny wee glitch there, so we go back into cropping and we literally just close that gap, go to the next one, make sure the gap's closed as well, and then we'll just take it back a few frames and then just play it through. Yeah, that looks fine. One more check. Yep, that's absolutely fine. So sometimes you've just got to refine the keyframes so you've not got anything sort of overlapping at the back end and you're missing the crop. Come back out and we do one full playthrough. There we go. Now what will really sell this is a little bit of a whoosh sound, I think. So we'll do that next. Okay, when it comes to positioning a sound effect, you've always got to consider that light is much faster than sound. So you should always have your animation ever so slightly ahead of the sound, because as humans, we're used to basically seeing things before we actually hear them. So what I'm doing is the animation obviously starts at 3 seconds and then starts to move in, and I'm going to take it to around about 6 frames in, and then I've got a deep fast whoosh, which I'm going to drop down around about here. And then we'll do a playback. That's pretty good. Now, the only thing is, when I do this, I personally feel that the transition is too slow. So even though I've set it to a second, if I wanted to, I can go into the sort of swipe transition, the layer that I've got here. And if we press number 2 on the keyboard, I can then go into speed and reverse and then increase it by around about 0.25. And that means we will have to adjust the sound in a second or two. But if we look at it now, you'll see I think the transition is just that little bit faster. And obviously we need to reposition the sound design. So let's move things over to about maybe here, see how it looks. I would say that's just about perfect. So there we go. That's today's tutorial. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, by all means, give the video a thumbs up. If I've earned a subscription this week, then please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to ring the bell and you'll be notified of the next video tutorial when it's ready. And I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.